Please give a warm welcome to our Councilwoman, Vanessa Gibson. Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be here once again. I was here last year, 2015, at the annual occasion coming together, Inner City Gun Violence Prevention. I am so thankful. I am the council member for this district, District 16, and in the City Council I chair the Committee on Public Safety, and it's been an absolute pleasure and an honor to work with Reverend Dr. Esther Henry. I met her several years ago when I first got to the City Council in 2013, my goodness, almost 3 years ago, and ever since that time, when God brought her into my life has never been the same. She has been such a champion and an advocate in all of the work that we do collectively to end the horrific cycle of gun violence. Not just because of her personal struggle and her personal story of losing her only son, but because as a woman of God, as a minister, as clergy, as a resident in this community, she gets it. And she recognizes that we collectively must address the root causes of gun violence in our communities. So we cannot talk about ending gun violence and not equally talk about creating jobs and opportunities for young people that bring them into positive engagement, allowing our young people an opportunity to be a success story and not a statistic. And Dr. Henry gets that, and to the entire executive board, I appreciate the work you do each and every day. Dr. Henry and I have been a part of so many rallies and demonstrations and walks because we are standing in solidarity. Because whether it's your child, her child, or my child, they are all our children. They are all God's children. And we are all responsible for them. And so this annual occasion coming together means that we must continue to reaffirm our commitment to our community. We must make sure that we take a hold of our young people. There's simply no excuses. We must remain vigilant. We must remain dedicated to the cause because our children's future is at stake. And so Dr. Henry and Inner City Gun Violence Prevention and all of the work that they do each and every day, I am so proud to applaud you for that. And I know you had a wonderful panel earlier today. We have an incredible, young, dynamic guest speaker that's with us, and I appreciate that because our young people need to see positivity. They need to see role models that look like themselves in our community. And I never signed up ever to be a role model, but I know that God had a plan for me, and I know that He put me in a position where I can effectuate change. And to God be the glory for the blessings that He has given me. It is never easy. It's not easy when you want to talk about changing our community because there are some that are complacent and think that the violence in our communities is acceptable and a normal part of life. And it is not normal. It is absolutely unacceptable. And so whether it is creating summer youth jobs, access to health care and housing, and bringing after-school programs and mentoring opportunities for our children, that is exactly what we are doing in the City Council, and that is exactly what we need to continue to do. We have an incredible program called Anti-Gun Violence, Cure Violence, because we look at gun violence from a health perspective, as a health crisis. And we inject and invest millions of dollars into programs like Guns Down, Life Up, Bronx Connect, Release the Grip, BRAG, Bronx Rising Against Gun Violence, Standing Up to Violence. Antonio Hendrickson was here, which he's from Lead by Example. There are so many incredible groups on the ground that are doing this work every day. They are not only stopping violence, but they're giving young people an opportunity. Because it's one thing to tell a young person to do different, but it's another thing to show them differently. And we can talk all that we need, but we need to demonstrate and lead by our actions, because people are looking at us and they're following in our footsteps. And so if I could be an encouragement to anyone, I certainly want to do that. And I thank you, Dr. Henry, for all of the work you have done. Whenever there's been a tragedy in our community, we've had to mourn with a mother or a father or someone that's lost a child to violence, she has been there. She has been there time and time again, putting her personal pain aside to help mourn the loss of another child. And we do that too often, ladies and gentlemen. It's far too common that we find ourselves at a vigil for a young person. And as I said, it's not acceptable. But I will never give up, and I will never stop trying. I will continue to do the work that God has put me in to do as a council member, and I will continue to support incredible organizations like Inner City Gun Violence Prevention, because we have to realize that through our personal story and testimony, we can turn that pain into a plan and a purpose. And we can become activists and advocates, whether you have a title in front of your name or not. If you are a person in this community that cares about your brother or sister, cares about the future of your children and this community, then we need you to step up. We need you to be upstanders and not bystanders, because there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And we don't need the people standing on the side looking at what we're doing, but you need to join us so that you can help us. Yes. Because we are only as good as the team that we assemble. And I stand here as a council member, but trust and believe the army that we build every day in this community is growing and growing, because I cannot and I will not do this work alone. Amen. And so today's celebration is, for me, not just an affirmation of my commitment to ending gun violence, but to make sure that all the residents know that you have a city council and a city council member here that is dedicated to working with you every step of the way. Do not give up on our community. Do not give up on our young people. We have come too far to let our children become victims of their circumstance. We have come too far for our children to be defined by their zip code or their neighborhood or the block they live on, but instead be defined by their character and the fact that they are a child of God. So I truly believe that, and I will not stop. Yes, it is tough, but life is tough. And every challenge we go through, to me, it makes us stronger individuals. And there is no limit to the work that we can do as long as we trust and believe in a higher power and believe that He is guiding us every step of the way. So Dr. Henry, you are an amazing woman of God, and I am grateful that God brought you to me 3 years ago. And even now, in my 3rd year at the City Council, she's still helping me and she's still standing at my side. And I am grateful for that. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. We love and appreciate everything you have done and continue to do. We have even been, check this out, we have even been at roll call at the NYPD at PSA 7. We have gone there to pray for our police officers because there's so much power in prayer. And Dr. Henry has joined me, and we travel around the district because we want to pray for our police officers. They struggle just as we struggle. If you take their uniform off, they're human just like we are. And they feel, they mourn just as we do. And so during some of our tumultuous times when we've had violence inflicted upon police officers, we come together and we work with PSA 7 and our housing officers to make sure that we can be a source of encouragement for them. But not just during the difficult times, but all the time, right? Because sometimes during the bad times, people only come out. But we need to still come out during the good times as well. Because power, there's so much power in prayer. And so I thank all of you, all of the partners and community organizations, everyone that is a part of this wonderful and amazing group. I thank you for your support. I thank you for your love. And most of all, I thank you for working with Dr. Henry. I thank you for being champions and allowing her to be the leader that God has called her to do. And don't forget, she needs support. She needs your prayers. It is not easy. There are many times when she goes in her pocket just to support someone else in our community. And she doesn't look for instant gratification or a thank you, but merely knowing that in the eyes of God, she's doing exactly what he wants her to do. And so I thank all of you, and now I want to recognize some of our leaders who have really been a part of this process and thank them for their support. I want to recognize Beulah Davis Palmer. And I want to recognize Demora Farley. Marilyn Thomas Wilson. Martha Henry.
Mama, come on.
Can she get up? Eunice Henry.
Come on this side.
And where's Eunice?
Where's the frame?
Marilyn, come on this side.
Eunice. Thank you. And this citation on behalf of the New York City Council, I want to present to Inner City Gun Violence Prevention Incorporated, our founder and CEO, our good friend, Reverend Dr. Esther Henry. I just want to recognize, and I know that she was not able to join us, but it's a very special occasion to recognize a future bishop with us. And in her absence, I want Dr. Henry to accept this proclamation on her behalf. Bishop-elect Juanita Bynum. Yeah. Wow, she's done a lot. So I would just say that, you know, once again, Inner City Gun Violence Prevention and Dr. Esther Henry and everyone, I thank you so much for your incredible support, and I pray that God continues to bless you in your leadership, in your advocacy, and in your commitment to our great borough of the Bronx. And on behalf of the New York City Council, this is for Bishop-elect Juanita Bynum. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gibson. I love you so much. Thank you, Innocent Gun Violence Prevention staff, for being with me. I want to accept this proclamation on the behalf of our bishop, our mother, Dr. Juanita Bynum. And the reason why I asked for this proclamation to be given to her, because she does so much work in our nation. She is like the hardest working woman I know, and I wanted to honor her, and I wanted her to know that Inner City Gun Violence Prevention loves her, the Bronx loves her, our councilwoman, and we all love her, and this is why the Lord has allowed me to give this to her on Inner City Gun Violence behalf. Amen? Amen. Okay, and also we have a very, very special detective in our midst from PSA 7. Angel, please come up and just Angel! I want y'all to know, this is my brother, okay? My brother by a different mother. I love him dearly, and Angel was really, thank you Lord, a lifeline for me when I started PSA 7. Sitting on the council board as a member, and I did not want to do anything. And I was sitting quiet after my son was murdered and going to the meetings, and he started to like pick on me. You know how brothers pick on their little sisters? So he said, well, Pastor, I want you to become a clergy liaison. And I was like, okay, what I gotta do. So I went through the process, fingerprint, mug shot, all that done. Okay? Everything passed, thank God. Then he comes a couple of months later, Pastor, how about the Citizen Police Academy? I'm like, okay, Angel. And then he came with the treasure. So many things. He has really been a lifeline for me, and I'm so happy to say that this is my brother by a different, not by birth, okay, but in the spirit, and I appreciate him, okay, and I appreciate PSA 7, where I sit as a clergy liaison and sit on the council board. So I want y'all to give him a warm hand clap, and he's just going to share with you. They do great work. They are some great guys over there, and they do great work in our community as also community officers. I want y'all to put your hands together for him as we speak.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you. And Pastor, I can't say enough about you. It's been a blessing to have you. I know that I picked on you a lot. And I dragged you to do a lot of things, but you're an instrumental person. You're a key player. You hold us all together. We look forward every month when she comes into our council meetings to hold prayer. And if she gets there a little late, then the meeting's going to start a little late. But we always do that, and we appreciate you very, very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.